Hi, in this video we are going to learn progress circle donut charts. The progress donut chart in Excel allows for a clear and concise representation of progress, making it easy to understand and communicate the status of a project, milestone or objective. The chart is divided into two sectors. The completed portion typically represented by a colored section and the remaining portion represented by an unfilled section. Progress donut charts are valuable in project management as they provide a concise overview of the progress of different tasks or project phases. Progress donut charts are an effective communication tool for sharing project updates and progress with stakeholders. Let's check this out from our Excel sheet. Here we have these three blocks and this is one of the project tasks. Imagine that you're working in some IT project and these are the project tasks. For that project, the first step is the coding. Coding has to pass and then the testing has to be done on those coding and then the deployment stage. These are the three stages of that particular project. And for successful project completion, it's always important to keep a track of all those other tasks involved because these tasks are dependent on each other. Until the coding is completed, testing people can't do anything. Until the testing is done, the deployment team cannot proceed. And to understand the team's progress for the overall project completion, we have to keep a track or we have to monitor it regularly. I have a small table here for project update. If we are updating the project status or the task status every week, for this current week, the coding task status is 20%. It means that 20% of the coding work is completed. Next, from the testing team, out of this 20% completed task, only 35% of the testing is done. And in the deployment team, out of the 35% of the testing completion done, they have only deployed 40% of the total testing. And we have a progress update column here where we update the progress weekly, monthly, or however the project requirement goes. I have another column here with all these 10% repeated 10 times. I need this for a donut chart. I can create a simple progress donut chart just by taking these two sections and inserting a donut chart here. Format and change the whole size to 60. Change this orange to gray and remove the chart title and legend. And also let's just remove the background here. For that, click outside and click on no fill and no line. And also let me remove the outline here. No line. Looks great now. This is a simple progress circle chart using the donut chart. Now when I make the changes to this progress update from 20 to 30, I see that my progress circle changes. If the coding is now 70% completed, then our progress circle rounds up. This is how we create a simple progress circle donut chart. I'll show you another way of making the progress circle donut chart. Let me just delete this for now and let me select these 10% which is repeated 10 times. Go to insert and select a donut chart. Again, remove the chart and the legend and give one color to the slices. Let me give this as my color and let me just reduce the shade. Okay, and let me even remove the background of this, and I don't want to remove the lines for this, so I'm just making it small. And also let me just reduce the whole size to 60. Now I have one donut chart like this. I need 3 donut charts just like this, as we have coding, testing and deployment to be monitored together. So let me copy and paste it aside. Now I have my 3 donut charts ready. Only by taking these values, which is 10% repeated 10 times. I have not added these values yet because we need donut chart to check the progress of these values. For that, let me select these two range, coding and remaining. So remaining is nothing but 100% minus whatever the coding percentage is. So coding percent is 70 and the remaining is 30%, which adds up to 100%. It's the same here. All these two will add up to 100%. Let me select the coding first. Both the coding and the remaining percentages has to be selected. Control C and click on the chart and Control V. We see double donut chart is now created. Let me right click on this and go to chart series type. Here we see that the combo is selected and we have two donut charts here. Let me select the second one as secondary axis. Okay. Now we see that the second donut is covering the first donut chart completely. Now let me select the first slice which shows 70%. This is the 70% slice. Let me select that and go to no fill. And the remaining 30% slice, change the color to light green. Now we have our progress donut bar showing up like the small segments in between. Let's do the same for the other two charts as well. Let me select testing. Click on the chart anywhere. Control V. We have two donut charts again. Right click. Change the chart series type. Select the series 2 as secondary axis. Okay. Now the outer one covers up the inner one as well. And the 35% is the value. For this, let me make it as no fill. And the biggest one, the one which is the remaining one, remaining slice, let me give another different color, which is a light shade color. So for 35% of the testing coverage, we see that only 35% is showing up here, covering up the remaining sections. And we follow the same procedure for this one as well. I now have my 3 progress charts ready. 70% of the coding is completed. And now let's update the status for testing. Previous week testing progress was 35%. Imagine that we are in the next week now. Let's update the progress as 65%. After changing this value, we see that the progress bar has now increased. Here, let's assume that even the deployment team has also made some good progress. Let's assume that deployment team has progressed to 85% now. We see that as we increase the numbers, the progress bar increases its coverage, grays out the remaining amount. This way we can monitor the progress of all these 3 tasks simultaneously by changing the status of these tasks. We can also place a small text box inside this donut chart for us to understand the values. For that, let me insert a text box. Go to insert. We see a small box here which is text box. Let me click on this text box. I now have a tiny text, and here inside, let me not type anything, and I'm going to the formula bar here directly. I'm not typing anything inside the text bar. I'm going to the formula bar now. Is equal to, and select this coding percentage, as because we are going to look for the coding percentage here. I'm going to select this one, and the range is already locked. So let's keep it locked. Hit enter. We see that 70% is now shown here. I can change the text color because it's not matching with the background. Let me center it a little bit. Let me center it. Okay, now it's centered. Let me change the font color to white or to any other color and make it big. Now we can clearly see that the progress bar is showing 70% of the total progress. I can do the same thing for these two donut charts. Now I have given the text box to all these three donuts. When I change the status here, we see that the progress bar is increasing its coverage as per the increase in percentage, and we also see that the numbers are also updated accordingly. This way we can easily create a progress circle using the dual donut chart, where we have one in the primary axis and the other donut in the secondary axis. We can even create a progress circle using just one donut chart, but having the dual donut chart with the different axes gives us little more clear understanding about the increase and the decrease of the progress. This way we can monitor the progress of multiple tasks simultaneously, and this is very helpful for any project management. Let's look at the quick highlights of this video. Progress donut charts in Excel provides visually appealing and easy to understand representation of data. Progress donut charts in Excel are a powerful tool for tracking progress, setting goals, and visualization. With the simplicity and visual appeal, progress donut charts are widely used in various domains to monitor and communicate progress in an easy format.